What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Daily videos, weekly live streams, and monthly giveaways. That's what we're doing over here. If you love silver, if you want to be kept in the loop every single day, which I highly recommend, then you should subscribe. Not for my sake, for your own. Now, we've talked about the silver shortage. We've talked about how it's scarce, how we're going to need more and more silver, and how it's running out, how we're not going to be able to keep up with this dramatically rising demand. U.S. Mint admits there's a shortage. They're having a hard time finding the blanks to make these eagles. The Silver Institute putting out the numbers. I mean, they're literally showing us, and numbers don't lie. The charts, it's blatantly obvious. We've proven that. But we haven't really gone over how it's affecting us. And this article does a pretty good job of showing that, explaining that. You guys know when I cover stuff, context matters. I like to break this stuff down. I like to dissect this information and share my opinion. You guys could also throw your opinion, your insight, your knowledge out there as well in the comment section. It does help not only me, because some of you probably know a lot more than I do, but also a lot of other people that are watching this video, reading the comments as well. There's a lot of new stackers out there, and some of you OGs out there, help them out. We also have a second article we're going to be covering, and it's talking about why silver is going to gain on demand and supply imbalance. There really is an imbalance. It's something that it's not overlooked as much as it used to be, right? It used to be extremely overlooked. It was a myth. It was a conspiracy. But now people are starting to notice, and also notice why this is so big for silver. Supply and demand is investing 101, what the most influential thing to push any type of asset or investment up, right? Low supply, high demand shoots the price up. That's only one area for silver, though. So it's honestly mind-blowing to see how much potential silver has. On a daily basis, we're covering different articles talking about different reasons. So I've definitely, like I said, there's nothing more to prove about silver, the silver shortage, but I do want to see what they have to offer in this. Link will be in the description. So since the start of the pandemic in early 2020, there have been some amazing developments regarding silver bullion and the silver market. The wholesale and retail market, as well as the investing in silver through ETFs or exchange traded funds. And yes, the ETF side of thing is interesting when we're talking about, I guess, supply and demand, because it's hard to incorporate a digital product through, or in comparing that, or trying to also, translate that with the physical market. Because essentially it's the same, but it's really not. If everyone wanted to trade in those billion contracts from the SLV or the PSLV and turn that in for physical silver, there wouldn't be enough. Every ounce of silver that you own, 100 other people own it. They just theoretically own it, but you literally own it. And that's why the saying of the stackers is, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. After dipping in 2019, the combined demand from those who invest in silver bullion, whether for physical bars and coins, as well as activity in ETFs and futures trading, rose by 20% in 2020, and obviously so. And this increased level of demand has continued to increase in 2021, and we're talking about major levels. And the majority of increased demand for physical silver is occurring within the U.S. And this is talking about the concentrated sales from United States Mint, American Silver Eagle bullion coins, with sales and premiums up sharply for the entire period since early 2020. And I also made a very interesting video the other day talking about the Type 2 Eagles and what I think the price of those, or where it's going to go. If the premiums are going to stay high, are they going to sell out? Are they going to be collectible? Is it going to make the Type 1 Eagles that we're used to collectible because they're not being minted anymore? There's a lot. So I recommend that video as well. But right here, they do talk about a lot. The premiums, I don't know, and I hope not, but I have a feeling this will be the new normal. American Eagles having the same types of premiums as semi-numismatic coins is normal from now on. And I'm starting to believe it more and more. When we started to first see these American Eagles have $15-20 premiums, I thought it was just from the situation we're in and it would die back down. But it's seeming more and more like this is to stay, especially since the Type 2 has come out now as well. And not only that, because silver is just going to become more scarce and harder to get. So Eagles used to be a standard bullion coin, but since it is the most recognizable, most liquid silver coin in the entire world, there is a lot of benefit to owning it, even if you might have to pay that high premium. In February of this year, silver holdings used to back ETFs reached a record high of 1.2 billion ounces, like I was saying earlier. The majority of that silver was stored at vaults in London on behalf of major silver ETFs, which the SLV is the biggest. So over the course of just 3 days during that period, an unprecedented 110 million ounces of silver were added. 110 million ounces in 3 days. This led the concern that if demand continued to rise at a similar pace for that much longer, London would have run out readily available physical silver. And in fact, the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, noted in a recent report that it would only have been a matter of weeks before London's existing stock was used up. And in February, SLV changed its reflect upon the situation, saying that the demand for silver may temporarily exceed available supply that's acceptable for delivery to, the trust, which may adversely affect an investment in shares. So that situation, I think, was only a small glimpse. We have places like Wall Street Silver. They have over 100,000 members, and they just started that forum in like late February. So in 6 months, less than 6 months, they gained 100,000 members, and most of those members are new into silver. So imagine in like 3-4 years when they're having hundreds of thousands of people brought over into the silver world, which silver is an extremely small market compared to gold. Especially they're doing these silver raids where they all choose one date and buy silver all on that day. That's going to start having a huge impact, especially as in the industrial side, not the investor side, need more and more silver for all these electronics and these gadgets. So things are going to be interesting, to say the least, and I can only see silver coming out on top from all these different circumstances. So on the one hand, this did lead to a brief 8-year high in silver futures, which reached $30 an ounce, and this was way past the shortage of silver supplies for silver coins and bars. It even led major U.S. bullion dealers to temporarily halt sales, right? They weren't even accepting orders. Usually it's like a 15-day waiting period. They're always going to try to take your money, right? But APMEX wasn't even accepting orders, which that's crazy. JM Bullion had so much traffic that their site went offline. I mean, that's something that is not known of. On the other hand, the price of silver did not keep rising beyond $30, but it dipped back down. Obviously, we know all this stuff. It's from the social media frenzy, Wall Street Silver, yada yada. So, anyways, let's look at this. So, demand for physical silver from the U.S. Mint rose 28% in 2020. And by the way, the U.S. Mint, they have to guesstimate how many silver eagles they will sell the upcoming year. So historically, eagles are very, 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 readily available. 30-40 million minted per year. But since 2019, they've only been minting about 13-14 million, which that's interesting because you would think now more than ever we would be wanting more eagles. And if they only are minting around 13 million this year and they still are having a hard time keeping up with supply, that shows even more about the silver shortage. So there's, in fact, mints like the U.S. Mint have had to slow down production, and they even had to make an emergency 1 million mintage from the San Francisco Mint at the end of 2020, and the Mint recently began producing the Type 2 reverse American Eagle and Gold Eagles at the West Point Mint, and needed silver planchets for those new issues and the new 2021 dated Morgan silver piece dollars. This has resulted in a shortage of silver planchets that led the Mint to limit production, and there's only around 175,000 Morgans and 200,000 piece dollars. The situation has, in other words, left the Mint between a rock and a hard place. He noted that in March 2021, sales of bullion coins at the Mint had risen 173%, and that he appreciated the patience of the Mint customers who have had to deal with production delays caused by increased demand and the changes to production procedures and schemes or the schedules from this situation. So in particular, demand for silver eagles has been very strong since early 2020. Very strong. And this has led to premiums continuing to remain very high by historic standards, right? The new normal is $15, $20 premiums. Maybe not at your local coin shop, but if you're trying to buy a brilliant, uncirculated, never touched by human hands eagle, this is the new normal. You have to deal with it, I guess. Mint sales of those coins have had to be sold on an allocated basis repeatedly during this period, limiting them to its network of major bullion companies. And all of these factors have increased delivery lead times, to which retail buyers needing to wait longer than usual receive their silver products. Globally, demand for physical silver is estimated to have exceeded 200 million ounces for the first time in 4 years. Demand for physical silver and spot prices are widely expected to remain strong in the coming months, and not only the coming months, the coming years, right? I don't know why they're saying the coming months. Not only do people like you and I want silver and are going to keep buying silver, not only 5G towers, electric vehicles, solar panels, silver lithium-ion batteries, the medical world with colloidal silver, silver nanoparticles. Not only all that, but as the price rises, more articles come out, more YouTube videos, people start to hear about it, and then people who have never invested a single dollar in their entire life are also trying to get a slice of the silver pie, but it's going to be harder and harder to get. Factors likely to drive the silver rally. Silver's performance will primarily be driven by demand and supply imbalance. The white metals benefiting from safe haven demand varied by industrial use and growing focus on silver consuming green energy applications. So the Silver Institute projects silver demand to grow 15%. Major part of the increase will be driven by investment demand, which is actually pretty crazy to think about. Expected to go up 26% to 252 million ounces, the highest level since 2015. Industrial demand is expected to log year-over-year growth of 8%, hit a record of 524 million ounces. And that's courtesy of reopening economies and investment in green energy solutions. So jewelry fabrications also extremely high at 24% to 184 million ounces, and electric vehicles. Meanwhile, the total silver supply is going to be up 8% to 1,056 million ounces. And we're looking at in 2021 year-over-year growth of 8.2% to 848 million ounces. And this is the biggest comeback from Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, China. Some of the, Mexico and Peru, just those two countries themselves produce globally 40% of the entire silver supply. It's pretty crazy to think about, but anyways, the long-term outlook for silver remains solid, given numerous industrial applications for silver. We're talking about the stuff, green technology and all that. But this is by 2025, they're talking about 16 million ounces. They're doubling to around 16 million ounces. And then by 2030, it will require 23 million ounces, and that's a 206% increase from current levels. A 206% increase from current levels, and they're already currently having trouble getting that silver. So it's only going to get 206% harder. So in the automobile industry, demand for silver will rise to 88 million ounces in 5 years. And that's as traditional cars and trucks to EVs accelerates. And I think by 2030, they're talking about every automobile company is going to be producing electric vehicles by then. So that's only going to push the need for silver higher. And silver demand for printed and flexible electronics will grow 54% over the next 9 years. So not only that, all these new inventions that are going to be coming out. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. So it's affecting us by these increasingly high premiums. It's going to be harder to get our silver, limited supply, but also longer wait times. Do you think American Eagles, this is the new normal of these extremely high premiums, or do you think that this is just this is going to blow over? I'm curious what you think about this, because we've never been in this situation before, right? We really haven't. So I guess time will tell. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. I post daily videos. Link to these articles will be in the description. Remember, I also post weekly live streams where I do giveaways in those live streams, but I also do monthly live streams. I'm doing a 47,000 subscriber giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss that, and you definitely don't want to miss the 50K giveaway. Anyways, lots of stuff coming out from this channel. Hope you guys enjoy it. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.